All right, you guys should have watched the storybook or that little YouTube video over the boy who cried wolf. I'm going to start off our story arc by just labeling that up here, the boy who cried wolf. And this is a reminder for me, right, about what I'm doing this story arc over. And that's always important. So somewhere on there, you always want to put that title. So we start with our mountain. And we're just going to do a really basic sort of story arc map to start off. Now remember, our exposition is where we introduce our characters and our conflict setting, things like that. So we know that we have and for these ones I'm going to do bullet points. Now for the rest I'm going to write incomplete sentences. Exposition will be a one place. I might allow you to do a bullet point. So our character is a shepherd boy. Right, they live, well, I guess like the setting is out in the hills, maybe. I guess they don't exactly tell us. And the last thing I'm going to put is the conflict, which, what is the conflict? What's wrong with our shepherd boy? He's bored. I'm just going to kind of say, boy is bored. Okay, there's our exposition. Now I'm going to put two different steps in our rising action. And what do you think those two steps would be? Well, the first step, and I'm just going to kind of do like a little one right up there. This time I'm writing in complete sentences. Remember that. So I'm going to say the boy pretends there's a wolf. So the boy pretends there's a wolf. And then the villagers come. Right? And then the second one would be the boy cries wolf again. And I'm saying cries wolf instead of pretend there because I know what that means. This story arc is for me. Right? So those are our rising action. He lies twice. Then what do you think our climax might be? What is the highest point of tension in this story? Well, the highest point of tension is when the wolf comes, right? So I'm just going to kind of do like a little over here. So like a real wolf appears. The boy yells for help. But what happened in this story? So the boy lies twice. The third time when he's not lying, they don't come, do they? I'm going to say comma, but no one comes. And that is our turning point, or our highest point of tension. Then we come down to our falling action, what is the result of this? What happens when nobody comes and saves, or helps the boy, rather? Well, in the iteration you just watched, the wolf, and I'm going to turn it so I can kind of write it. I'm going to put just a little one, and I'm only going to have one falling action because this is a short video, right? So the wolf eats the sheep. And then the very last thing we have to do is going to be our resolution. Now, because this is so short, and I think also because it's a fable, which if you remember, a fable is sort of a story with a message being told by characters, right? We don't necessarily have a resolution. We end with the wolf eating the sheep, and our resolution is more like our lesson. So our narrator tells us what our lesson was. That's what I'm going to put here. I'm just going to kind of say like the lesson, which is what? Something like, I mean, pretty simple. I'm just going to say don't lie. Okay. Now I would like you guys to get another piece of, or a different color rather, pen if you are following along with me. This is just going to help us sort of compartmentalize in our brains so we understand the difference between the events happening and this new thing I'm about to teach you. So what we're going to be doing is taking a look at taking a look at mood and tone, but it's a little more complicated than that. And just a quick reminder that mood is what the reader feels, whereas tone is what the narrator feels. So mood, as you are reading the story, what are the emotions you are getting? Is it making you feel sad? Is it making you feel happy? Whereas tone might be more specific. What is the narrator themselves feeling? So is the narrator angry? Is the narrator very frustrated? Things like that. So remember, mood, reader, tone, narrator. So the practice we're doing specifically today is actually going to be more on the tone spectrum. So we're going to call this sort of a tone practice. What we do is we go through each step of our plot mountain. And right here on the inside, we're going to label emotions, okay? So I'm going to start here. And we kind of already put it in this, but what is an emotion we could give for our shepherd boy? So for right here, I'm just going to write, and this one's not complete sentences, okay, guys? We're just writing an emotion name. So bored, is that an emotion? So he's sort of, I think it's an emotion, so I'm going to put bored. Right, so that's what he feels in the beginning. So because we have multiple spots, I'm going to do number 1 for my first emotion here so that it links with number 1. So in that first place, number 1, the boy pretends there's a wolf, the villagers come. What is the boy thinking? Well, he's kind of feeling a little mischievous maybe. He's having fun, right? So I'm going to put mischievous. You might have heard of this word, also pronounced as mischievous. It just kind of means that he likes causing trouble, right? He's having fun causing the trouble he's causing. So he's feeling very mischievous. And then for number 2, the boy cries wolf again. So what are you thinking he's feeling there? Maybe it's some kind of emotion to deal with the fact that he's wanting to like mess with people, right? So he's feeling, I'm gonna put playful, because I think at that point he thought the first time he did it was fun, and the second time he's doing it because he wants to keep it going, right? So then we get to here. A real wolf appears. The boy yells for help, but no one comes. What is probably the emotion there? If you were out looking at sheep and a wolf comes, I imagined you're probably like terrified. So I'm just going to put right here in this little corner, and you guys can do it however works best. I'm just going to put terrified, and I'm going to do a little sort of arrow just to let me know it goes up there. So he is terrified there. And then when the wolf eats the sheep, and again I'm going to put a little 1 here, what do you think the boy is feeling? So I imagine he's still pretty terrified, right? But maybe he's starting to feel a little remorseful. That's what I'm going to put, remorseful. In the story, he starts crying, doesn't he? So obviously he feels bad. I'm trying to think of how we spell remorseful. I think it's O-R, remorseful. Don't quote me, guys. So remorseful. Which is kind of what I would say down here, which is our lesson, don't lie. The boy sort of learns a lesson, and I'm going to say he is maybe regretful. / maybe he's humbled, yeah, because he's learned a lesson. He's humbled, learned that he did wrong. Something like that. All right, so what this does is it helps us understand the emotions going through each sort of event, and it helps us recognize where this climax is coming, because he's bored, he's mischievous, playful, all of that's fun and normal, but where's that turning point? When a real wolf shows and he's suddenly terrified. So remember, this one has to do with tone when I'm asking you to put in specific emotion words. We will go over mood and how we do that on the inside of one of these story arcs another day. But you guys be sure that you understand this fully. Watch the video again if you don't, because you are going to be doing your own assignment over it.